In sports, it's so easy to get obsessed with one thing, right? The win or the loss. But what if the real victory isn't found on the scoreboard at all? What if it's in the lessons we learn after that final whistle blows? That's exactly what we're diving into today, the art of post-game reflection and how it really fuels growth.
Volleyball legend Karch Kurali just nails it here. The path to winning isn't about somehow avoiding failure. No way. It's about how you respond when you fall short. And that idea, that's the core of everything we're talking about, using every single setback as a stepping stone to come back stronger, smarter, and way more resilient.
For any competitive athlete, and I mean especially in youth sports, the pressure it's real. The entire system of competition often forces you to have this laser focus on one single thing, the result.
I mean, just look at a typical tournament structure. This is pulled right from the Volleyball Canada Guide. From day one, it is all about ranking. Day one sets you up. Day two shuffles you into these power pools, and by day three, it's pure winner go home. Every single match has an immediate, direct consequence on where you stand. It basically conditions athletes from a super young age to see every point as a measure of success or failure, and that can be incredibly stressful.
And hey, if the tournament structure wasn't enough pressure, check out the tiebreaker rules. What's wild about this is just how granular it gets. We're not just talking wins and losses anymore. We're talking set ratios and then even point ratios. You're literally being measured down to a single point. This isn't just a game. It becomes this constant running calculation. And that's the invisible weight these athletes are carrying onto the court with them.
So, how do you possibly thrive in an environment like that? Well, you have to start by changing your definition of success. Volleyballer David Beard gives us this crucial perspective. A single outcome, whether it's good or bad, it just doesn't define you. It's all about finding that balance and separating what you did in the game from who you are. But how do you actually build that mindset? Well, often it starts with one key person, the coach.
You know, this kind of shift in perspective, it rarely just happens on its own. The coach is absolutely essential in guiding athletes away from that scoreboard obsession and getting them to focus on their personal development, on the actual process of getting better.
One of the most powerful tools that coach has is this idea called feed forward. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong on the last play, the focus is all about what the athlete can do to succeed on the next one. So instead of, you passed that ball too high, a feed-forward coach might say, hey, on the next pass, let's focus on keeping your platform angled a little lower to really control that height. It's a simple change, but it's a profound shift from correcting the past to empowering the future.
And this chart just lays out the difference brilliantly. Outcome-focused feedback scolds you for mistakes, which can make a player terrified to even try something new. But process-focused feedback, that feed-forward idea, it praises the attempt. It rewards the effort. And this creates fearless learners who aren't afraid to take risks, to try new skills, and, to actually grow.
So really, the crucial point here is that this all boils down to some core principles. Use negative criticism sparingly. A coach's calm demeanor builds massive confidence. And maybe most importantly for young athletes, prioritizing just participating and having fun over a win-at-all-costs mentality, that doesn't just make the sport more fun, it creates a foundation for a lifelong passion, which, let's be honest, is the ultimate win.
Legendary coach Marv Dumpy reminds us exactly why this matters so much. Volleyball isn't just a mechanical sport. When you create that positive, process-focused environment, you unlock the creative side of the game, the intuition, the improvisation, and the teamwork that makes it so beautiful to watch.
Now, while a coach can definitely set the stage, the athlete is the one who has to step into that spotlight. Cultivating a champion's mindset, that's an internal job. It's about learning to be your own best coach, right there on the court.
Let's just soak up some wisdom from a few of the greats for a second. First up, Carrie Walsh Jennings. She completely reframes adversity. It's not something to avoid, it's an essential ingredient for strength. It's not a setback, it's fortification.
Building on that, Loy Ball points out that your internal drive can actually trump raw talent. I mean, skill is important, of course, but the will, that active, relentless pursuit of your goals, that's what really, truly makes the difference.
And Lindsey Berg brings it all home with 3 qualities that are 100% within your control: dedication, passion, and heart. These aren't things you're born with. They're choices you make every single practice and every single game.
So how do you actually cultivate those qualities? It all starts with self-awareness. This player info sheet is a great visual for this idea. It asks questions that go way beyond your stats, like what motivates you and what annoys you.
Understanding these deeper parts of yourself is the absolute first step to becoming your own best coach. And a huge part of that self-awareness is just accepting this simple, powerful truth from Coach Al Skates. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a necessary part of the process. You just cannot get better if you are not willing to make mistakes along the way. Period.
Okay, so we've talked about the problem, and we've talked about the mindset. Now, let's get practical. How can you, as an athlete, build your very own game plan for growth?
First, it's so important to understand that development is a long-term journey. According to Canada's long-term athlete development model, the priorities actually shift over time. For younger athletes, the vast majority of time should be spent in training, not just competing. Then as they get older, that ratio starts to flip. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay, with that long-term view in mind, here is a simple, actionable framework you can use after every single game. 3 steps. First, debrief your performance, not the score. Second, identify one key learning. And third, set one specific goal for your next practice. So for example, 1, my serves were inconsistent. 2, I learned that when I rush my toss, it goes offline. And 3, so in the next practice, I'm going to focus on a slow, deliberate toss for every single serve. Simple, specific, and so powerful.
And we end right where we began, with Coach Kiraly. This just brilliantly sums up the ultimate payoff of focusing on the process. When you know deep down that you've done everything you can to prepare, to reflect, and to improve, it just frees you up. It takes away the fear of losing, because you've already redefined what it means to win. So, I'll leave you with this. The next time you walk off that court or that field, what are you going to focus on? Is it going to be the number on the scoreboard? Or is it going to be that one thing you learned that's going to make you better tomorrow?